Hey guys, we're here in Houston, Texas. We're about to leave to go back to Las Vegas. It's only about 90 degrees here, but boy does it feel hot. Like my grandmother says, it's not the heat, it's the humidity. So I told you I'd show you how to reset the oil maintenance light, and we're going to do that this morning. Put your key in as you normally do. Turn on the key. 1, 2, 3. Turn your key off. Now let's go ahead and start it and see if the light comes back on. And we're good. Here we are in Texas. It's between San Antonio and Houston on the 90. It's a smaller country highway, and every time we come to Texas we try to take the smaller roads because there's so much to see in Texas. I have family both in Austin and in Houston, and when we come to Texas we try to take a different way every time, and there's always some neat little town or some attraction to see. So we chose to take a country road rather than the interstate to San Antonio. Hey guys, we're here in Arizona, Texas. We just hit the 2,000 mile mark in the JK. Really the only outside indication that this thing is any different than any other Rubicon is these chrome exhaust tips. When we get back to Vegas, I'll show you a 69 Z28 that gave me the inspiration for those exhaust tips. And this little LS3 on the side. Other than that, it looks entirely stock. I've been to a dozen gas stations, even with other Jeep JKs, and no one knows that it's anything but stock. Although it does sound a little loud when you're going through a drive-through. So we'll probably be seeing you when we hit El Paso. Hey guys, we're about 100 miles from Van Horn, Texas. We just had a Texas sunset in the west, which means no more 80 miles an hour. We've been going 80 miles an hour for a couple of 100 miles, but nighttime in Texas means we have to slow down to 65. I think our LS is getting a little bit better gas mileage on this trip back. According to the math, we're in the mid-18s, which I think the Aeroforce Interceptor is learning because it's at 18.7. And speaking of gas, the L9H and several of the 5.3s, including the LC9, are flex fuel capable. Now the JK does have mostly plastic fuel lines and fuel tank, and I have put ethanol in the tank. The GM computer is capable of recognizing through a virtual sensor, which basically means it does the math to figure out the alcohol content and keep the stoichiometry where it should be. Alcohol has a lower stoichiometric point than gasoline, and the GM computer can recognize that with feedback from the O2 sensors and other sensors. They don't use a hard sensor like they used to in the old days. However, it does have to be activated in the GM computer, but I can't speak to the Jeep JK's ability to run the alcohol through the fuel system, whether there will be any corrosion. I don't think the JKs are designed to run E85 or a high percentage of alcohol from Chrysler. But I have run ethanol mixed with gasoline, and the GM computer handles it just fine. So if you do have a flex fuel vehicle, you might want to do some experimenting. So we're gonna bring our speed back now, and no more 80 miles an hour until we get back to Texas, or maybe we'll get lucky and take a trip to Utah. So we'll see you in El Paso. Hey guys, we're just outside of El Paso. I'm happy to say it looks like we're averaging over 20 miles to the gallon on this tank. We filled up in Fort Stockton and we've gone almost 230 miles, and we still have almost a half a tank left. And there's several factors for that. One, it's almost all downhill from Fort Stockton to El Paso. Two, we've had no headwinds. Three, I think this LS is finally breaking in. It has about 3,000 miles on it now. We have 2,280 miles on the trip since we left Vegas. We have over 40 hours of run time in the last 2.5 days. And finally, I think the fuel and the timing adaptives are settling in. I've decided to use mid-grade fuel because the LS Generation 4 engine controllers use two timing tables. They use a low and a high octane table, and then a scale factor to determine the actual timing. And by running the mid-grade fuel, it reduces the knot count, which allows the engine to run a higher timing curve. And I find that even though the mid-grade costs a little bit more, it pays off in the end because the engine ends up getting better gas mileage. So anyway you look at it, getting 20 miles to the gallon with over 400 horsepower in a vehicle shaped like a brick, it's pretty good. I think we're going to stop either in El Paso or Las Cruces for tonight, and then we'll see you tomorrow. Well, here we are in El Paso, back on the road. We've got about 300 miles on this tank of gas, and we've got over a quarter of a tank. We're going to try to go to Las Cruces, see if we can get 400 miles on this tank. Back in the 80s, I lived in El Paso for one summer. Had a friend with a CJ5 with an AMC V8 in it. Had a really bad 4-inch lift, and we called him roll bait. Brings back memories driving this Jeep through El Paso. So we'll see you on the other side. Hey guys, here we are in Las Cruces, New Mexico. Well, we didn't go 400 miles, but we did go 300 miles, and we have about a quarter of a tank left. So I'm going to fill up here and figure out what the mileage is, and we'll continue on through New Mexico. Hey guys, we're just outside of Phoenix. I don't know if you can see the dust storms out there, but it's pretty hostile. It's 115 degrees outside, and we're in a dust storm, but we're very comfortable inside. So we'll see you in Phoenix shortly. Hey guys, one more video before we get out of Phoenix. It's now 118 degrees outside. We are in traffic, and you can see that our intake air temperature is running at about 150 degrees. And Mo and I are enjoying the air conditioning. Hey guys, here we are in Mare, Arizona. We used not quite half a tank to get from Tucson to Mare, and it was pretty hot in Phoenix, 118 degrees. I'll tell you what though, here in Arizona, even at 105 degrees, it doesn't feel as bad as it did in Texas. I can't wait to get back to Las Vegas where it's cool. Well, 2,800 miles, and this JK hasn't missed a beat. Wow, we got some pretty large critters in the radiator. We went through rainstorm, dust storm, 118 degree temperatures, cruised at 80 miles an hour for hours on end. I don't think we could really ask for much more. here's a neat little bonus. We're in Chino Valley, just outside of Prescott, and there's a thunderstorm in front of us, and it's raining. So at least this will give the Jeep a chance to get washed off. Hey guys, it's dark around us because now we're in the thunderstorm. This is a good opportunity to get all the bugs off the window. Hey guys, here we are in Ash Fork. We're going to take a little break and have a snack. Give the Jeep a little bit of break too. We've driven over 2,800 miles in the last 3.5 days. We've got about 230 miles, 240 miles back to Las Vegas. And then we'll be home. That's the thunderstorm we just went through. So we'll be seeing you later in Arizona. Hey guys, here we are just outside of Seligman, Arizona, right after the storm. It looks very fresh outside. There's what appears to be a mile-long train. Seligman is on old Route 66, just like Williams and some other towns here in Arizona. And they've restored part of Route 66 in those towns. So if you ever get around here, try to visit. Hey guys, we're just outside of Kingman, Arizona. The sun just set. It's starting to look like home. We've only got 100 or 200 miles left to get into Vegas. So we'll check with you on the other side of Kingman as we head towards Hoover Dam. Hi guys, we're on the 93 in Arizona heading towards the Nevada border. This is a familiar highway for me. Ahead of us is Hoover Dam and Lake Mead. And we just turned over 3,000 miles on our Red Ball trip from Las Vegas to Houston and then back to Las Vegas again in 3 days. It says we've got 53 hours of run time. I would say about 5 or 10% of that was spent idling in gas station parking lots while the family did their business. We're all pretty exhausted, even Mo. We did take care of our business, and I'm looking forward to getting home. We've got probably, well, 56 miles to the border. So I'll try to recap this trip. First, I want to say that the LS JK performed as well or better than I expected. It had absolutely no issues, no problems, no leaks, no codes. In fact, after San Antonio, on the way back, I just stopped opening the hood. There was literally zero maintenance. We didn't even have to add a drop of oil to it during the trip. I was not easy on it. I went the speed limit, regardless of temperature. We spent many hours at 80 miles an hour. We went through thunderstorms. We went through temperatures as high as 118 degrees. We went through a dust storm, and the LS had no problem. In fact, compared to the 3.8 JKs that I've driven, it was really a pleasure this trip to go the 3,000 miles. You just point it in the direction you want it to go and set the cruise control, and it goes. There's no drama, there's no revving up the engine. It just idles along and makes the trip a lot more enjoyable. As far as the gas mileage goes, the Aeroforce Interceptor says we averaged about 18.7 on the trip. I calculate it's closer to 18.2. I'll get a more accurate figure later, but our best tanks were in the 20 mile per gallon range, and the worst tank was in the 16 mile per gallon range. That was when we were going 80 miles an hour in Texas up those hills. So just as expected. I think as this LS breaks in, it might do a little bit better. The LS definitely inspires confidence. I actually feel more secure driving this JK with a V8 than I do with a 3.8, and it's something intangible that I can't explain, but knowing I have the torque and the horsepower to do what I want it to do, knowing that it's going to be reliable in the hot temperatures. I don't think we've exceeded 213, 215 degrees coolant temperature, and that was outside of Phoenix when it was 118 degrees out in traffic. So it really inspires confidence and makes you appreciate what a wonderful job General Motors did on the LS engine. And I've installed a lot of LS engines in other chassis, and I must say that it really fits the JK well. The size and the shape of the JK is matched perfectly for the LS. I think the 3.8 is a little bit too small. There's reasons Jeep did not put a V8 in the JK, and we can go into that later. But I can tell you, driving the JK with the LS, what feels like the most appropriate engine for this chassis. So we're going across Hoover Dam, and we'll probably see you on the other side around Lake Mead. Hey guys, we didn't quite make it to Hoover Dam. We had to make another unscheduled stop for the family. So our trip will take a few minutes longer, but we'll be out of here shortly. Hey guys, off to our right is Lake Mead. You probably can't see it, but we are now in Nevada. We'll be in Las Vegas shortly. Well, there's Las Vegas. We're home. If you guys ever get to Las Vegas, it's not just about the Strip. We have Red Rock, Mount Charleston, the Valley of Fire, Logandale. There's all sorts of places to wheel around here. So don't just confine yourself to the Strip. Hey guys, here we are back in Las Vegas. 3,100.2 miles. Everything went well, and thanks for watching my videos.